Follow your passion as a career advice is dated, flawed, and very often dangerous career advice which can lead to anxiety and chronic job hopping until we find this passion we're looking for. Why do some people end up doing what they love for a living and many others don't? The follow your passion advice assumes that we all have pre-existing passion inside us waiting to be discovered. Once we discover it, only then we can put certain steps in place to actually make it happen. I have recently read a book, So Good They Can't Ignore You, written by Carl Newport, which really focuses on addressing this career advice in more detail. This book is for everyone, especially for teenagers, people in their 20s, or anyone who finds themselves a little bit lost in their job, finds themselves in a career dilemma, and really wants to find a way and put some steps in place to really end up doing work they love, which also makes them a living. I love the fact that this book was written from a young person's perspective. It was written by Carl in his late 20s when he was looking for his first full-time job. Carl really wanted to find out the answers to his key question: why do some people end up doing what they love for a living and many others don't? He was really keen to find out the answers to this question early in his career, not 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Carl challenges his readers to think about changing their mindset and shifting their viewpoint from what can the world give to me to what can I give to the world. You will find many case studies and real-life stories from real people as to how they have gone about finding out what they really love doing and how they ended up making a living from it. This book was published in 2012, and if we fast forward to 2023, which is pretty much 10 years later, I still believe many people are getting the same career advice: follow your passion. You also may hear people saying, follow your dreams, find your purpose, which is just as dated, flawed, and quite dangerous as well. What tends to happen in reality when you're a young person or later on is that we end up having certain interests. We then put some steps to explore those interests and experience them and really see if any of this really sticks or not. So what are the steps we need to put in place to get to do what we love and also make a living from it? Step number 1, lifestyle-centric career planning. This step really requires us to think about our life on a deeper level. What kind of a lifestyle do we want to have? And we have to think about it on a day-to-day basis, not just a big vision and a big picture as in, I want to have a big house with lots of money. It really doesn't work that way. We have to challenge ourselves a little bit with this step and really think about, what does it feel right? How do I want to live? Where do I want to live? And really try and work backwards once we have that vision, that image in our head, work backwards to be able to put the following step in place, which is building rare and valuable skills which will give us leverage in the marketplace. These rare and valuable skills need to be in demand. We need to be good at them, which will overall enable us to build our career capital, as Carl puts it, that we can then cash in. So therefore, career capital theory is, as you get good at things that are rare and valuable, you are acquiring more career capital. You then must invest that capital to get returns in your job that are positive. So the key message is, think about skills instead. Think about skills you want to learn about, invest in, develop, how to acquire a bigger career capital, and eventually you can get return on investment by cashing it in. So how do we do this? Number 1, deliberate practicing to get better. Now this part, whilst it's obvious, is actually quite difficult for most knowledge workers. It's also not fun and it's not often enjoyable because it requires a lot of time and effort. During our work hours, actually, we get stuck in meetings and emails, and it's really tiring when you think about it. So you have to be really creative as to what else we need to put in place, frameworks, mechanisms that really enable us to practice some of the skills we really want to develop and work on. Constantly learning, practicing, and experimenting. We need to do projects outside of our comfort zone, whether it's as part of our job or outside of our jobs. Take little bets, which is all about bite-sized approach to our planning versus having a one big grand plan. By having these rare and valuable skills, we're also creating something called unfair advantage. And the final step is we need to put ourselves in positions or find a way to get immediate feedback on our work and put relevant steps in place to actually act on that feedback. There have been many surveys as to what people really want from their workplaces and from their jobs, and many organizations do on a regular basis employee engagement surveys. 3 traits really come to life, which Carl also confirms in his book, which is, how can I be more creative in my role? How can I have more control in my role? And how can I make an impact? So as Carl suggests, if we have these rare and valuable skills, perhaps we can trade and ensure we get more creativity, more control, and have a better impact. So how do we create this career career capital Carl talks about. Step 1, decide what career capital market you're in. Carl talks about 2 markets, winner takes all, auction market. Winner take all is all about having one skill and one skill only that determines our success. So think about TV script writers, comedians, or musicians. If we take TV script writing as an example, TV script writers really have one job, is to write good scripts. So as a TV script writer, you just have to make sure that your writing is amazing and you are actually selling your scripts. On the other hand, the auction market is slightly different, which means we have to use a variety of skills and we may require different types of career capital acquired here. For example, an expert in technology is in the auction market. To be an expert in technology, you will need to have a number of skills and be up to date at all times, manage various stakeholders, have amazing communication skills, and things like that. Then we need to identify capital type. Define good, also known as define your goals. Stretch and destroy, which is all about getting out of our comfort zone and seek feedback on our work on a regular basis. And finally, be patient. This is a long-term investment. It will pay off eventually and there will be a return on investment. I hope that this given you a bit of a framework or a blueprint, if you like, as to what you can do now to really understand and reassess and readjust as to what steps you need to put in place to be able to get to your own career capital and really find a way as to how to make it bigger and better. I definitely suggest you read or listen to Carl's book. I think it's a fantastic book. Many have provided very different viewpoint and criticized his arguments. I would be really interested to see as to how you perceive this book and his advice, because it has definitely resonated with me and I think it's a great book for everyone to read. Whether you agree or disagree with it, it's going to give you a relevant blueprint and a framework that's actually quite realistic and accessible and available to many people. Let me know your feedback or questions in comments. If you have liked this video, there are many other similar ones on my channel, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.